Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sky Chase podcast. Now, after my rant on Knuckles on Sky Chase 1, I think I'm going to upgrade a little bit. Let's talk about, I don't know, the fact that my toe hurts. What's the thing we can talk about? What's a fun thing going on in the real world today? The fact that, the protesting for Black Lives Matter and how people are not standing for the national anthem. Okay. I know it's their First Amendment rights, and all that, but you're protesting for change in the country by basically giving the middle finger to the most time-honored tradition, and you're saying, okay, this is coming from legit a white guy, so anything I say is not going to be considered valid. But the whole thing that that black lives are oppressed. No, I wouldn't say you're oppressed. I say there's still an innate racism quality in America, but I blame the fact that the people in charge now, the generation that runs the country and all that, is the same ones who were the ones who did the marches on Selma and all that, along with the ones that also, burned the crosses in the yard. So you have both sides that are now grown old, getting up there in ages, and they're the ones in Congress and all that stuff. Like in positions in some major power in the United States. And meanwhile, the generation that's getting in adult age now is the millennials. The millennials are the ones in charge now, like as far as age-wise, like in their mid to late 20s, the millennials. And then you have, I guess I would be considered millennials, the group of kids born 2000 after getting up in age. And here's the thing, they're being raised by said millennials. So the whole thing is, the millennials were raised on the belief that they're worthless. And millennials and a good chunk have grown up to be lazy. They expected things and all that. And the problem in the US, as far as this, is the fact that we have a very flawed education system. I think that's where you could root most of this down to, is the education system. Because have you seen inner city schools? They are terribly underfunded. I say the US, they can justify decreased spending in the military if they change some things around. Like, they instead of, turning around putting that money they save in the fucking congressman's in the pocket of a congressman. No, you put it, the money of said cuts, you put that directly into your schools. And on top of that, you pay your teachers better. That's what I say, anyway. Because quality of education is what most blacks feel oppressed because they feel like they can't get anywhere. The thing is, a giant majority of our black populations go to inner city middle schools, intermediate schools, high schools, and all that. And at the same time, they also live usually in the poor income neighborhoods.
I forgot something.
It's not an easy setup for them, but the thing is, they're blaming the government, and you can blame the government to an extent. You can blame the government for the education, alright? But as far as them living in the terrible, neighborhoods and all that, they can't blame cops, They can't blame cops, white people. They can't protest against that. That's not.
You're right, my friend.
Anybody.
So here we go.
If it's anybody's fault, it's their parents' fault, and the parents before that. It's a generational problem, and yet they're blaming people that they can't. That's what makes no sense, in my opinion. And I'm just rambling here. I really have no set thing. I'm just saying what's coming to my head. But back on the main topic before I end the video. Black Lives Matter, I don't get what exactly they're trying to do. They are not the next Martin Luther King advocacy for civil rights.
Better get going.
Group, because here's the thing. We have a black president at the moment. Does no one remember that? I say the African American population needs to wake up and realize that it's a mystery. Alright, okay, cops killing blacks, yeah, okay, that's it. But the thing is that statistic-wise, it's not, most deaths usually, for African Americans in the United States, is usually, face it or not, it is black on black violence. And I say the whole thing is just education. Just give these people. The only thing I say that will fix this is not doing something stupid like getting rid of cops, beating, killing cops. That's not making your point. You're just you're no better than what you're fighting for. All right, if that's what your stance is, you're no better. You're not believing in your stance because you're doing an eye for an eye. An eye for eye has never worked in history.
Better get going.
So what you need to do is push Congress to do something like what Bernie wanted to do, have a free education system. We probably won't be able to do that in the government we have, but make it a lot easier and a lot less stressful on students as far as student loans is concerned. You do that, you'll have less college dropouts. You'll have a lot, and make it easier to get in. I know right now there are more people in college than there's ever been. That's because statistic-wise, our education has gone up, but the United States against the rest of the world has pretty much stagnated. It's slowing to go down now. But compared to the United States in the 1950s, yeah, we're smarter, but we're not as smart as the rest of the world. That's the whole thing. Yet no one can figure this. Yet no one's guess. I'm rambling here. I'm just gonna end it here. My whole main point is that to fix the innate problems that Black Lives Matter is trying to do is simple. Just have a giant education reform, and I guarantee you, if the people want it, their lives to be better, work for it. And if the options are literally right in front of you,
better get
do
going.
It. And don't stoop to the level that you're claiming to be, as far as saying that cops kill blacks more discriminately. I mean, yeah, that's kind of true. I mean, that's what history has shown us since the 1960s. But the whole thing is, I don't even know.
Better get going.
It's just it gives me a headache trying to deal with this shit, but I've literally rambled for 2 extra minutes and none of you are listening anymore. I'm just rambling, bumbling, all that shit. I'm going to end the video here. Next time we're going to the Sky Deck. Yeah, we're going there. See you then.